If I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, you know, it's the same drama, and they're yelling at each other, and they don't get along. You know, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other
he'd
talk
be a
show
great
host.
Real Housewife.
He would be.
Right.
Right?
It would be amazing.
Uh-oh. She went there. We're back with James Carville and Stephen A. Smith. James and I will sit as those who will measure the potential outcome of this scenario. Stephen A. Smith, what do you make of this kerfluffle with the former First Lady?
Well, first of all, it's no kerfluffle. She'll always be my first lady. She's the greatest first lady in American history as far as I'm concerned. I absolutely revere her. Secondly, it does have me questioning how legitimate of a sports fan her husband is. Maybe, just maybe, this is all Barack Obama's fault because he's too smooth, too cool for school, per se. Because every sports fan that I've ever been around, we get loud, we get obnoxious, we're passionate, we're reactive, we're emotional, we're ready to throw stuff at our TVs from time to time. Evidently, her husband, the 44th president of the United States of America, I mean, this brother's so smooth, he's just sitting back all cool and everything while he's watching his Chicago Bulls win championships when Jordan was there and lose every time he hasn't been there. I don't know what the situation is, but I will say this. Sports reality TV is different from sports. There's real competition in sports. There's real athleticism in sports. There's real talent in sports. A lot of times in reality TV, not to say there isn't talent there, but it certainly doesn't compare to the marvelous athletes we see competing feverishly in the world of sports, which is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. Just look at the National Football League, the NBA, etc. And so I think she's wrong about that. But in the end, where the kerfuffle, as you put it so eloquently, comes into play is because I always wanted to have an opportunity to speak to Michelle Obama because I was always taken aback and, dare I say, offended as a black man when she was campaigning for Kamala Harris. And while campaigning, she said that a vote for her for Trump would be a vote against us as women. I understand where she was coming from, and obviously I voted for Kamala Harris, but my point is, James, I don't know how you feel about this, but my attitude is everybody's got their one salient issue that they point to when it comes to voting. Some people care about the economy. Some people care about immigration. Some people care about safety in the streets. Some people care about a lot of things. And so you're trying to tell me that a man that's looking at his dollars and his wallet or is looking at immigration issues because he may be Hispanic or what have you, or somebody that's living in the streets of America and he feels that his neighborhood is unsafe, you're trying to tell me that if he elected to vote for that in favor of something like that, it's a vote against you because he's not thinking about pro-choice or pro-life? I just don't think that's realistic, and that's why I used that as an opportunity, even though that wasn't a subject she brought up. I never forgot that she said that, nor did I forget nor appreciated how Obama was talking to black individuals in Pittsburgh when he said that to the young black men there, hey, you know, it's a bit misogynistic. I know why you're not thinking about voting for Kamala Harris. Wait a minute. Black men revere black women. We love our black women. We was raised by our mamas, our grandmamas, and what have you. You know, that's not how we think and that's not how we feel. We believe that women are highly, highly capable, better than us, smarter than us, you know, more composed than us in a lot of different situations. Don't let pride and ego get in the way that we do. We revere women. So I'm like, where you getting that from? And I thought it was important to bring that up. I said it months ago when they said it. I said it during the campaign. I said it again yesterday. I'm saying it tonight because I mean what I say. I ain't stutter with one word. I didn't like that coming out of either of their mouths. But that's the only thing that I have ever disliked about Michelle Obama because I think she's wonderful.
Man, he's backpedaling. He's backpedaling like a free safety. He's
I'm not backpedaling.
He doesn't want the smoke.
Facts.
He doesn't want the smoke.
She called you common.
She called you common, Stephen A. She called you common.
She
called you common.
She doesn't know better.
She called you common.
If she called me that, she doesn't. If she called me that, she doesn't know better. Because I'm not common.
You are. What do you think of it, James?
Well, I agree. There's nothing common about Stephen A. I just want to know what Sirius XM channel he's going to be on because I listen to it all the time when I commute.
POTUS. And sports. Both.
POTUS. Okay, 124. I know it, man.
124,
right.
but he's also doing the sports show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be on Mad Dog Sports Radio weekly, daily from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be on POTUS 124 every Wednesday night at 6 to 8.
Mrs. Obama's brother was a college basketball coach. Maybe he still is, but
Yes, he was.
I think he was.
I know him.
State.
I know him.
I
He used to coach for the Knicks.
I don't know, but I think he's pretty passionate about sports. And look, you're not going to stop me from being passionate when LSU plays Alabama or whoever they play. We open against Clemson. Let me tell you,
we need sports.
And kicking and screaming.
We need sports more than ever. We need the reminder. We need the reminder of what rivalry is about, and what how you got to love one another, and that's part of the game too, and that when the game's over, it's over. We need those lessons. It's why we want our kids playing sports. Let me ask you something. My theory is I wanted to ignore what Trump said about Charlemagne for two reasons. One, limit the diet of negativity, but second, I don't think it moves the needle. I think anybody who's pissed off, James, by what he said about Charlemagne the God doesn't like him already. And anybody who's like, yeah, Charlemagne the God, what a stupid name, I don't like anything that he says, they're already Trumpers.
Well, first of all, I don't think Charlemagne the God cares what some Trumper thinks about his name. He's actually, I listen to him sometimes, and he's a pretty smart guy. I mean, he's
no question.
Like anybody else, he can be polemic from time to time. But if you listen to him over a period of time, there's actually some connectivity to his thought process.
He's a smart guy, but he broke the golden rule, Stephen A., which is he made trouble for Trump. And he did it by telling the truth. This Epstein thing is a thorn in the paw of the lion, and it's not going away. He said that. Trump didn't want to hear it, so he called him stupid.
Well, first of all, it may seem to be the job of some politicians to kiss Trump's ass. That's not Charlemagne the God's job. He's a radio host, a Hall of Fame radio host, by the way, who I've known for years. And the last thing you can accuse him of is having a low IQ. He's a conscientious observer. He's not afraid to attack the left or the right. We all know I can relate to that. And I think that one of the things we may have missed is that Charlemagne did an opening monologue on Donald Trump. Maybe it wasn't the opening, but he did a monologue on Donald Trump on Comedy Central, where he made fun of him and talked about his debilitating or diminished skills, per se, and showed visual evidence just as a comedy skit to make fun of Trump. And as we've seen from Trump, when comedians get at him, or when somebody tries to be comedic in getting at him, he reacts the way that he reacts, bragging about getting Stephen Colbert canceled, hinting that Jimmy Kimmel for ABC would be next, and possibly Jimmy Fallon thereafter. And now he's going after Charlemagne the God. So it's not a surprise. We understand it. We understand that the president, which is the biggest thing I've lamented about him, just be presidential, be a statesman, stop being so damn petty. But unfortunately, that's the route that he's choosing to go, in the name calling him a sleazebag and all of this other stuff. But it also shows y'all might keep bringing up the Epstein thing and how he wants to distract us from that. Here's what I also suspect that I don't hear enough people bringing it up. Maybe the big, beautiful bill isn't so big and beautiful after all. You would think with such a quote-unquote win that he'd want our rapt attention paid on that he wouldn't do anything to distract us from that. But in the immediate aftermath of that, we hear about the Russian collusion case. We hear about the FBI and the CIA and the weaponization of intelligence agencies. We're hearing about
he doesn't want to run on
Obama
the economy.
and how Obama, he's hearing all of this other stuff. Yeah, you could say he doesn't want to run on the economy, and that's fair. I'm simply saying if the big, beautiful bill was as big and as beautiful as they proclaim,
he wouldn't talk about anything
Trump
else.
has given us every indication he wouldn't talk about anything else. So the fact that he's talking about everything else tells me that it ain't as big and beautiful as he's saying it is.
That's right.
And that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I think you're right. I'm smelling what you're cooking. James, give me a last word, Lady Liberty.
So to Stephen A.'s point, the big, beautiful bill posed lower than any piece of legislation in this century. And probably if you go back before that, you can look. Look at all the data gurus. Look at all the thing. It's a big stinking bill. People don't like it. It has marginal public support. The Republicans are trying to run away from it as opposed to run on it. And as I said in the New York Times, Democrats have to hunt them down and talk about this. This is a legitimate issue. This is not a side issue. It's veterans benefits, it's rural hospitals. It's now they're saying it's up to 4.1 trillion in additional debt.
Yep.
So this is not a minor thing. This is a real discussion, right?
You know,
Yep, absolutely.
Chris, may I say this to
we'll
close
keep
out?
having
May I
it.
say
Give me
this
a
to
quick
close out?
button, Stephen A. Go ahead, please.
If the Democrats are smart, they will be listening to James Carville, who is talking about the issues. He ain't engaging in woke culture and try to pull us to the extreme left and trying to get us away from the issues that really, really matter and affect every American citizen. This is what he's talking about. If they listen to him, they'll have a chance. If they don't, they'll lose.
The 3 points he laid out for Bill Clinton. So James Carville, I knew this story, may he rest in peace, from Timmy Russert, who worked for my father and was one of my brother's best friends. So he gets all the credit for it's the economy, stupid, right? That wasn't even his first point on the board. The first point on the board was that Clinton represented real change, not more of the same. The second one was the economy, stupid, which was remember people's pocketbooks. And the third one was, and don't forget health care. Nothing has changed. If the Democrats focus on those meat and potatoes issues and who's suffering, they will be back to where they need to be. And if not, get ready for more pain. Jimmy, I got to jump. I love that you had Lady Liberty right behind you. I'm going to send you a picture of that. You don't need hair when you got that going on.
Everything. Wave the flag, okay, huh?
I mean, you look great. I like you got your USMC. He's got his Marine Corps sweatshirt. Stephen A., you got to get more patriotic, man. Look at this guy. He's killing us with patriotism. I'll talk to you later. Stephen A., I love you. Thank you for making your witness. Congratulations on Sirius XM. You're going to take them to all new heights. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.